Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Well, I just woke up and it's 3:15 a.m. and I feel like I slept for 15 hours. I was having the weirdest dreams. I've been having a lot of really weird dreams lately. By the way, this chapstick that Delia sent me, which Delia, I got another one today. I think it's strawberry banana. I meant to show it, but it's at home, and I haven't opened it yet. So I was going to show it on video, but Delia sent me this one yesterday, this chubby chap huckleberry, and then I got one in the mail today. So they were like sent like one day and then the next one, you know. I think it's strawberry banana, but it is such a nice chapstick. It's so fantastic. Somebody asked in my vlog if I have really dry lips. It's why I wear chapstick a lot and lip balm. No, I don't have dry lips at all because I do wear chapstick all the time. That's why. But I really don't have chapped lips. When I was a kid, I had horribly, horribly chapped lips. Turn on the air. It's kind of hot in here. I have a really bad migraine too. Well, not migraine, but a lot of pressure in my head tonight. I talked about this not too long ago in a Q&A, but if you don't know, I have epilepsy with migraine disorder. I have juvenile myoclonic epilepsy, and so not a day goes by that I don't have like some kind of migraine. But a lot of times it just feels like pressure in my head. It almost feels like, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but like I could take a needle and put it in and just like let out air. It's kind of how it feels. So it doesn't feel like a headache, it feels like pressure, and that's how it feels right now. Usually it happens when the humidity is really high or it's gonna rain or something like that. So, but it doesn't look like it's gonna rain. I hope it doesn't rain because our patio cushions are outside. Now I forgot what I was just gonna say. But I've been having really weird, like, dreams/nightmares lately. And they're, like, kind of all over the place. It's crazy. Oh, I know what I was saying. I was talking about having chapped lips. I went like this. And then I was like, oh, yeah, I remember what I was talking about. When I've told this story on here before, when I was a little kid, I used to have horribly, horribly chapped lips. In fact, it was like one winter or maybe even two, and my dad used to give me a little, kids used to make fun of me because my lips were so red that they would say I was wearing lipstick, which of course, you know, did not go well with kids already making fun of me because of how effeminate I was. And so my dad gave me a little jar of Vaseline, and apparently like they approved it at the school or whatever. So, I think it was because, well, the kids thought it was really cool, and they like were like wanting it, and I was like, yeah, but I have my own little jar of Vaseline. I mean, it was so gimmicky because, you know, back then I think, like today we have all the little different sizes of stuff like that, but back then we didn't, and it was like this small size, and so I got to carry it with me everywhere I went, and I put it in my little backpack, you know, pocket, and bring it out all the time. But then it just looked like I had lip gloss on my lips, so, you know, of course that was great too, but, yeah, I had really bad chapped lips when I was a kid, and I think that's why, like, I started from a young age wearing, like, chapstick a lot, using chapstick a lot, and, we skied a lot too, so, and when we were, like, out in the sun a lot in the summer because of sailing, because my dad has a sailboat, and both with like sailing or being on boats and when you ski, you use chapstick a lot, right? Like, because of the reflection of the sun. So we always just had tons of chapstick around our house, especially, well, mostly at my dad's house. My dad probably, if I went to his house right now or his car, he probably has like chapstick sitting around somewhere because he uses it too. And then when I was in high school, I somehow found the Clinique silver tube. I actually got one like a year ago and started using it, but I realized that it's no better or no worse than the other ones that are out there. Actually, if you're gonna buy a like kind of a bougie, more expensive lip balm, I really like the Pat McGrath, and I saw that they have it at Sephora now. It's expensive. It's like $35, I think, and it has lips on it. But it's very cool, and it's probably I would say, the nicest and the most different lip balm out there. The Chanel doesn't really seem any different to me. I would have had to have had the Chanel when I was in high school. I would have thought that was so cool. But anyway, I would have thought it was vintage, even though it was brand new. I don't know if that makes any sense, but if you think like me, then you know what I mean. But anyway, I would have had to have had the Chanel in high school. But the Chanel is like $38, and it really is not any different, although they say it has all of these minerals and oils and stuff in it. The lady like really sold it to me when I was there. I mean, it wasn't much of a sale because I was going to get it anyway. But she was, I think it was maybe when I went back to get it for Melissa, because I got it for Melissa's birthday last year. And she was like, yeah, this is the best lip balm in the entire market. I wanted to look at her and say, lady, I've literally tried every lip balm on the market, and I can tell you this is not the best lip balm on the market. But, you know, it's funny because people ask me, they're like, you really have tried I literally have tried almost every lip balm that is out there. Well, I mean, there's every once in a while a new one that comes out that I haven't heard of, like this Chubby Hubby. Chubby Hubby. What is this? I think it might be called Chubby Hubby. Chubby Chap. Like, I've never heard of this. But this almost kind of looks like, I mean, this doesn't look like something that you would find in a store. It looks like something that you would find like on Amazon or like in an Etsy store or something like that. But it's really nice. It's really smooth. I will tell you that you have to reapply it quite a bit. I really like the Laneige. But it is a little oily. Not oily, greasy. This one, I really like this. I really like the Kiehl's Buttermilk Stick. It also is kind of greasy. And then they have like a mask, which that's nice too, but it's really, really thick. It's like the Laneige. And then I like the drunk elephant. This one right here. But this doesn't, it's a really nice lip balm as far as, because it's kind of thicker, which I like, you know, and kind of goes all over your lips. But there isn't like much of, the lip balm part of it isn't like, it's nice. This one you have to reapply a lot too. These, I know this is going to sound crazy, but these humongous chapsticks, I really like these a lot. And not just because they look completely obnoxious, that really has very little to do with it. But because, is this the blue one? I did not bring the blue one. I did bring the blue one with me. I don't know why I put this in here, but because this is the one that I use for videos on my Peter Monn channel. I just think that, like, it's not too greasy, it's not too just dry. Like, I feel like a basic chapstick brand that you get, it's just, it like is really basic. And I feel like you're reapplying it 20 minutes later, which people say is kind of the idea of chapsticks to begin with. But I don't mind those. I like that they have different flavors now and stuff like that. I think that's really cool. Burt's Bees, I have to tell you, I do not love Burt's Bees. I think those dry out my lips the most. Let me see what else. That's why sometimes, like, I like to use a lip gloss. The problem is, do I have a lip gloss in here? Let me show you. I don't think I do. I'm kind of surprised I don't, honestly. Because sometimes when I'm going out on the town, I think I, like, you know, I put a lip gloss on. I do have a lip gloss. Okay, so here's the lip gloss that was sent to me not too long ago. Now, I really like this, and one of the reasons why I really like it is that it will stay on my lips for a while. So, like, I'll put a lip balm on, and then I'll put this on top of it. But if I'm just going into somewhere, like, to eat or whatever, I mean, you can see it a mile away. I mean, I put this on the other day. We walked into Cheesecake Factory, and Melissa goes, you have a little lip gloss on today, don't you? I was like, yeah, and she was like, I'm jealous. And she's like, is it the kind that has the metal ball? And I was like, yeah, somebody sent it to me, it's mint. She goes, oh my God, I want to try it. So we walked out to my car. But, that's why I do like lip gloss, but lip gloss is real greasy too. So I don't know, like for an upscale one, if you're gonna spend the money, I would say, I would probably do the Pat McGrath. I think is the nicest, honestly, that I've come across. I mean, for container and for as long as it lasts, and melt factor is huge for me. Like I can have it in my car for like an hour or two, like, you know, on me, and it doesn't melt. And for a cheaper one, although I wouldn't necessarily cheap, I think the Laneige that comes in this little container, I think this is really fantastic, and it comes in like 4 different flavors. This is the pear. The pear is really good. Yeah, I really like the Laneige a lot. And I like the humongous chapsticks. Humongous chapsticks are fantastic. But I pull them out all the time, like when I'm with people and whatever, and people literally, like, I kind of forget that, you know what I mean? That it's like this crazy chapstick, and so I'll be using it, and people will just kind of like stop and look at me, like, they'll be talking, and they'll be like they think I'm doing it like on purpose, when I'm totally just using the chapstick, you know? So anyway, I feel like I'm forgetting a chapstick. I don't know, these chubby chaps are really nice though. These are really, really nice. They're very smooth. And I like this flavor, Huckleberry. I really like that flavor. Like, you know, all the fun ones that people send me, like the unicorn ones and the, you know, the mocha ones that look like, you know, they look like actual like frappe mochas and stuff like that. Like, those are so much fun. Like, I love those. And sometimes I take those out with me, like if we go out to dinner with somebody else or whatever, like I'll take those because I think they're kind of fun. But like, I wouldn't say they're the highest quality lip balms. And they usually have, like, they smell, you know, like, that's another thing, too. Like, Alex isn't big on flavors. So, like, with him, I usually just use, like, I would use the Drunk Elephant. Like, if I knew that, like, you know, we were going to be kissing or whatever. But Alex is a big lip balm person, too. So he uses a lot of Jack Black, is that what it's called? Jack Black products? Like, he really likes those products. The ones that come in the blue and black containers, he really likes those. I don't love those. Those are kind of greasy to me. But I did use them for a while. There was a mint one that I really liked. So, yeah. That was almost 12 minutes of lip balms. Can you even believe it? Dream. So today was a good day. Although I felt sick the first half of the day. I really did not feel good at all. And I literally hung out in bed forever. And I just was like, I keep on saying Drunk Monkey because there is this place in Broad Ripple. It's actually right by my office. And I've only been there one time. And our friend's husband is in a band. And they have a show on Saturday. I think they do this. I don't know what the show is for, but they do it like once a year. And, y'all know how I am with social anxiety and stuff like that, right? So, Alex was like, and I'm like at an all-time fatness right now. I'm gonna drive by it, I'll tell you guys what it's called. But anyway. So it was our friend whose husband we went out to dinner with, like a couple weeks ago. And, Alex was like, and so they asked me that night, they're like, are you gonna come, you know, for his band show and stuff like that, something like they do every year. And I was like, yeah, maybe, like, and I was like, oh, I don't love to go out and do public stuff like that, you know. And why can I never remember what this place is called? I think it's called the Drunk Monkey, Monkey's Tail. And it'll be fine, it'll be outside and whatever. I do remember that they have like big plastic cups for Diet Coke, so that'll be kind of fun. But anyway, Alex tonight was like, are you gonna come on Saturday night? And I was like, I said, I know it's important to you, so I will come and I'll stop by for a little while. Like, I'll come with you and then probably just, you know, stay for a little while or whatever. And he was like, yeah, I really want you to go. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. He was like, well, it just would mean a lot, you know, to all of them. And so... I was like looking at this girl's outfit, and I was like, as she was like walking, and then as she got closer, I was like, that has to be like a waitress's outfit, which it has to be, because it was like, oh, and it's 3:30, so that would make sense, because the time was closed. I wonder what's around here where she was working like that, though. There was a time in Indianapolis where it wasn't real safe to just walk around. I mean, especially for women to walk around by herself like that. My mom worked at the mall for a while. Well, I mean, many different times my mom worked at the mall. She worked a lot of retail. And she worked in schools, but then in between she would work retail when she got tired of it. So, or she needed a break. She hated retail too. She always said she was no good at it. But anyway, she could never figure out the computer system. Anyway, if you've ever seen Annie Mae, the scene where she wants to send everything COD, my mom used to joke and say that was her. She'd be like, this was me. She worked for this place called Filofax, and it was like those, you know, those books that people have where like they write down their addresses, and they're, you know, now you can just go to like the Meijer or the Target or Walmart or whatever and get one. But back then it was like, you know, you would buy like the inserts, and it was leather, and they were really nice. They probably still have them now, the day planner kind of things, right? So she worked in this store, the Fashion Mall, and it was like all of those things. And one day I called her, and I was like, how are you doing, Mom, or something? I thought you had to work today or something. She's like, they let me go. And I go, you got fired from the Filofax? And she goes, they let me go. She goes, because I didn't understand the computer system. I go, yeah, that sounds like that might be kind of important. And then I was walking by there the other day, and I noticed that it was for Alex's birthday. I was walking by, and I noticed it was a card store. And so I went in there and bought 2 cards, and I said to the girl, the cards were like $6.50 and $8.50. I said, when are gift cards so expensive? And she was like, right? And I'm like, well, you work here, so it shouldn't be that expensive. But they were like basic birthday cards. I was like, oh my God, I'm never coming to this store again. This is ridiculous. To open for 5 seconds. We used to keep cards left and right. We don't do that anymore. Like, and I have to say, like, that was like a really hard, you know, when you talk about kind of like traditions or rituals that you break, like that was really hard for me. Like, I'll keep special ones for like anniversary or whatever. And like Alex this year, like he got me one from the dogs. Did I show it on here? It was so funny because you open it. He got me one from the dogs for my birthday. And when you open it, it says like number 1 daughter or something on this pen. It was so cute, and he tried so hard that like I'll keep that forever, right? But just like some card that says like happy birthday on it, I don't do that anymore, like, because they just pile up. And like I did that, my mother literally, when she died, she had cards for the past 30 years from people that I didn't even know who they were, and I was like, this is so stupid. So yeah, that was the Filofax store. And then the funniest story, I've told this on here before too, my mom worked at Lifetime Fitness for a while. She wanted a free gym membership. You would have had to have understood my mother, but like my mother, okay, so first of all, she was a clearance shopper extraordinaire, right? But she didn't love stores like what do you call it, TJ Maxx or Marshalls. She didn't love those stores. She didn't hate them, but she didn't love them. What my mom liked to do was go to like BCBG or what was another one of that? The Loft, my Aunt Taylor, because they made things that were more her size. My mother was 5 foot. She was real short. And what else did she like? I know BCBG makes like really expensive like dresses and stuff, but they also made like glittery sweaters and like my mother loves that kind of, she used to, love that kind of stuff, like kind of glittery, you know, sweater set and stuff like that. There was another store that she would go to a lot. So anyway, but like I can remember there was this jacket that she wanted from Ann Taylor Loft, and it was like this biker, I think it was from there, I can't remember where it was from. It was like this biker leather jacket that was, I don't know, red or something. Anyway, I don't remember, but she wanted this leather jacket so bad, and she kept on going in there and going in there and going in there, and the woman was like, well, you know, we're gonna have the sale. And then finally the woman even let my mom use her discount. She got it for some ridiculous amount of money. My mother had no intention. She would like go in there and try it on. She'd be like, well, it is really nice, and it'd be like, you know, 20% off, and she'd be like, but it's still really expensive. She worked these people like nobody's business. But she would also say, I would say, my godmother, you really worked a deal out of them. And she'd say, no. She was like, they're really nice to me. I'm friendly with them. They're my friends. And I don't know if she believed it or not, but and then all of a sudden she'd call me and she'd be like, yeah, I got this jacket for it was like $20 or some ridiculous amount of money. But hey, today they have like, you know, the clearance stuff. I went to Abercrombie, and that jacket that I almost spent $300 on last fall, I mean, people cannot believe it. We went to Abercrombie last winter, because I don't dislike it. I'm starting to kind of like their stuff again, but I don't want it where it says, you know, Abercrombie and Fitch across it. I'm way too old for all that. But like there's stuff that doesn't have that. Like, it's funny because I bought a couple t-shirts from there. Their t-shirts are super comfortable, and I bought a couple of their t-shirts at the outlet mall in Edinburgh, and like I wore one today, and it has like the Abercrombie emblem on it. I don't mind that, but like, you know, come on, let's just be for real. So anyway, but this coat that I looked at the store at the fashion mall this winter was like $300. I got it for like $10, you guys. Brand new, tag still on it and everything. It's in perfect condition. It's hanging in my basement. Now, she's a large and I'm not, and so it's a motivation jacket. I think maybe it's an extra large. It's an extra large, I think. But it's tight. I mean, it fits, but it's tight. You know, you wouldn't want to sit down in a crowded space with it on. But, and it's beautiful. It's red. I think I showed it on here. It's red plaid and it's puffy and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm all about that kind of stuff. I literally have like 5 bags on my floor right now of stuff that I bought on clearance. I bought this pair of Nautica pants when I was buying something for the week of doing the pageant. I had to go buy some stuff, and I was like, so Macy's, if you ever go to Macy's, I love Macy's. I'm obsessed with Macy's. Macy's has this huge clearance section, right? And for men, Tanya told me now, like, their whole 3rd floor is all like clearance. Like, it's just like a TJ Maxx up there. Which listen, don't get me wrong, I don't mind a TJ Maxx or Marshalls. I just don't like having to look through all the stuff. I mean, you have to have some real patience for all that. So anyway, I was coming out. I've always wanted a pair of light blue pants, but like that fit well. I just looked the other day and I was like, these are not going to fit me forever. They were like, I don't know, they were like 36s or 34s or something. I was like, these are not going to fit me forever. Well, maybe next summer. So anyway, I don't even know when it stopped. I just like looked up and it wasn't recording anymore. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I was at Macy's and I was shopping for the pageant, and I was coming out of the dressing room, and so a friend of mine back in the day, he and I used to go to a lot of meetings together, and he doesn't live here anymore, and he sadly went back out, but we were really, really close for a while. And Tanya talked to him a while ago. I don't know, like, he moved out of state, and anyway, I miss him. He was a really good friend of mine. We used to go to the Waffle House a lot. And, but I remember like he bought at Goodwill, they were like these Hollister blue corduroy shorts, and they were so cute. I like wanted them so bad. And this is when I was a little bit thinner too. And he was always like, well, you can borrow them if you want. I was like, no, that's okay. Like, I'm think I'm past the age of borrowing clothes right now. But anyway, I came out of the dressing room and there were these light blue pants there. They weren't corduroy, they were just like cotton blue pants, but they were Nautica and they were so cute. And I was like, oh my God, they're my length and everything. They'd start my waist. And I was like, I'm getting these. They immediately reminded me of him. And so I got them. And when I was checking out, the woman at the register even said something. She's like, I love these pants. You don't ever see like light blue pants like this. They're really, really cute. They would be so cute with like just a white t-shirt and like Birkenstocks, or like my blue Birkenstocks, or like a white t-shirt and like Sperry's or something like that. But anyway, when I fit into them. When I fit into them, not if I fit into them. I need something to drink. I'm dying. I need to get a Diet Coke. I kind of want a root beer, actually. So, reading-wise, I am, look at my hairdo today. Can we just talk about bedhead? Like, this is truly bedhead. I'm reading Two Can Keep a Secret by Karen McManus. And I'm really confused because it has gotten a lot of really bad reviews. And, okay, when I read her first book, which is called One of Us is Lying, it's about a classroom. It's very like Breakfast Club. And there's like 5 or 6 kids in this classroom. I think it's 5. And a kid dies. Well, they find out that it's a murder. And, you know, I just realized right now that I don't remember who did it. That's so crazy, isn't it? I don't know why it matters. But I loved that book. I thought it was really, really good. There's a sequel actually coming out, and I'm excited about it. And everybody there were a lot of people that didn't like One of Us is Lying either, and they said it was cheesy, and it was totally cheesy. It's young adult. I mean, young adult books a lot of them aren't cheesy, but a lot of them are. I mean, you kind of know that when you're going into it, especially when you're reading it as an adult, like, you kind of know that you're reading, like, a CW show. I mean, it just is that. Like, I think that when you're that age and you're reading about that age, you don't really think that you're like, I don't know, for me, I never thought my life was like a CW show when I was in high school. Well, hell, we didn't even have CW shows. But you know what I mean? Like, I knew, like, when I watched 90210 that was not my life. Like, I wasn't, you know, like, I never thought that. But I did watch, like, John Hughes movies and stuff, and I kind of thought, this is kind of like my life. Like, I would watch Pretty in Pink. I so resonated with that movie, you know? Like, a lot of those John Hughes movies, I think, you know, The Breakfast Club was another one that I really related to. So, you know, it's interesting to me when people are like, oh, it's cheesy, it's corny, whatever. But I think a lot of these authors kind of play to that, and they know that. I think there are a lot of actual teenagers whose lives are like CW shows. You know, maybe not everybody looks like the CW characters in there, but I think there's a lot of people that their life today does look like that. As much as we want to focus on all of the negativity that is out there, you know, within, like, with teenagers and stuff like that, there's a lot of really good teenagers out there too that are making good choices, getting good grades, you know, and things like that. And anyway, and that's not necessarily all that a CW show is about, right? Anyway, is that, I mean, so anyway, the first book was called One of Us is Lying, and it was very much like a CW show. But the second one is called Two Can Keep a Secret, and it almost doesn't read like a young adult book. I don't know how to explain it. But it's about these twins, Ellery and Ezra, and their mom goes to, I mean, this is truly kind of like a CW show, in all honesty. Alex would love this if this was a TV show. I'm going to this McDonald's. But their mom their mom left this town called Echo Ridge, after high school, because she wanted to be a movie star. And she got, like, all these small bit speaking parts in, like, movies and episodes of TV shows, and so she's kind of famous for that and has fan pages dedicated to that. Okay, my battery is about to die. This is perfect timing, because I do have another battery with me, thank God. So she has, like, these fan accounts that are dedicated to her, because she did like a speaking role like 20 years before, which I think is so funny. It reminds me of that movie with Winona Ryder, Welcome Back, Roxy Carmichael. Did you guys ever see that movie? It was fantastic. Okay, hold on a second. I went to junior high and high school with this girl. I kind of knew her a little bit, but not really. And she ended up leaving. Here, I'll tell the story in just a second. Battery replaced. Anyway, I went to junior high with it. I'm gonna get my money out now for this, so I don't have to deal with it when I go through there. Oh, do I not have any dollars? Do they give them away all at meetings? Oh no, here they are. I went to junior high with this girl. We played tennis together, and I knew her a little bit, but she was definitely in the popular crowd and I was not. And but she was real different too. And I remember like, do I not have any nickels? I was kind of like mildly, I just was kind of like in awe of her a little bit. Like I thought she was the coolest thing. She was really good friends with this other girl who now that lives in Indianapolis. We actually talked one time about a year or two ago, probably 2 years ago. And I was like, I thought you were so cool in junior high. And she was like, what did you think was cool about me? And I was like, I don't know, I just thought you were cool. You were different, your hair was different. And I said, you always inspired me to be myself. And she was like, oh my God, I felt the same way about you. And I was like, I didn't even know you knew who I was. But anyway, she's like, anyway, we haven't talked in forever, but we only talked like that one time because she and this other girl, after our 9th grade year, because we went to junior high, 6, 7, 8, 9, then we went to high school, 10th, what is going on here, there, it's the 10th, 11th, do you guys watch Chelsea Lynn? Okay. Do you know who I'm talking about? Chelsea Lynn. She does the character Tammy. So she's doing these mukbangs now, and they're like ordering what the person in front of me ordered. Okay, if you do not know who she is, she's absolutely hilarious. And I have been watching her videos from like the last 2 weeks, and they're a laugh riot. Like they are so funny. And today she went through Popeye's chicken, and she was mad because of what the woman in front of her ordered. It was so funny. But anyway, I just thought this girl was really, really cool, you know, and I don't know what it was about her. I mean, it wasn't like she was the nicest person in the world. She wasn't the meanest person in the world. She just was she weirdly, I think at whatever that age would have been, 14 or something, had this weird celebrity quality to her. Like, I remember she had this bubble watch that she used to wear. And like, so we played tennis. And so a lot of us that like played tennis together, there was like, I would say 5 or 4 of us kind of knew each other outside of school. And so I knew her from that, but I didn't know her well at all. And then she like in 7th, 8th grade, I don't know when she would have moved there, 7th grade? 7th, 8th grade, was carrying a Louis Vuitton purse, okay? So let me just put this in perspective for you. This would have been, so I graduated in 90. This would have been like 85, 86, okay? This like 12, 13-year-old girl was carrying a Louis Vuitton purse. And I was like, I just thought she was cool. And I remember she used to always wear like, but this would be like her style, right? That she would wear like sweatpants like pulled way up, like on her like calves. And she would wear those little kid shoes and like some really long V-neck white t-shirt with like some cool piece of jewelry. And then, oh, she also like, I think she wore like, had like a Rolex or something too. We did not go to a school where everybody was like this, okay? I mean, we just didn't. And she was kind of an anomaly at this school. Like, she kind of stood out for this kind of stuff.
Thanks to the McDonald's for cash only. Give me one moment.
Okay. Anyway, I was kind of like enamored of her. I was kind of like, I mean, it wasn't like a crush, because obviously, you know, but I kind of thought that like she was like just really cool and really different. I was like, who is this girl, you know? Like, I never got to know her that well. Well, she and this other girl, that they were like, just wait. They have a Lion King Happy Meal. You know that like every kid in the world has to have that. Okay, what does it comes in Happy Meal? Choose a meal with kids fries. 4-piece chicken nuggets, 6-piece chicken McNuggets, or a hamburger. I wonder if you get a 4-piece chicken or a 6-piece chicken if it's the same price. Oh no, it's not. Choose a side, apple slices, Go-Gurt. You can't even get fries as a side anymore with a Happy Meal. Choose a drink, Honest Kids Organic, apple juice drink, white milk, or Dasani water. But you know what's so funny up there is that, like, they have, that would not make me happy, that meal. I know it's probably healthier for kids, but they have fries next to the picture. Have you guys seen the new menu? Let me just show you this really quick, okay? Like, it is like HD. Have you seen this? Look at that. I just want you to... Come on now. Look at that Big Mac up there. Big Mac filet of fish, quarter pack of fish. Look at that Big Mac. Doesn't it make you hungry? I haven't had a Big Mac in forever. And then there's the Happy Meal. See, there's fries next to... But look, when you go to that choose a side, it's not there. And then right there, here I'll show you, is where she'll put my order. It comes up on the computer screen. If she ever comes back. Hi. Put you back into the bean bag. I'm really thirsty. I should have just gone into a gas station. There you go. Well, let me tell you about the book and then I'll tell you about the girl afterwards. So, Two Can Keep a Secret. It's about these two twins and they have to move to, I think they're in Vermont. I think it's Vermont. And they move there because their mom, she like drives her car into something and because of like an opioid overdose or something. And so
okay, go ahead with your order, please. Sorry about the wait.
That's okay. Can I get a large Diet Coke, please?
Large Diet Coke, will that be all for you?
That's it.
Alright, 109. Just take a little, please.
So, they have to go live with their grandmother. Well, their mom was like famous in high school because she too was a twin. And doesn't this sound so good? And it's totally like a CW show, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of like the old Lifetime made-for-TV movies too. That's why I said it doesn't feel like so young adult to me. It kind of reminds me of this one that I watched back in the day. Every time I say it, somebody mentions what the name was, but it was with that Sarah Chalk that was like the second Becky on Roseanne. Was she the first Becky or the second Becky? I think she was the second Becky. And then she ended up doing this show where she and her mom moved from California to like Salem, Massachusetts, and she could read like tarot cards. You know, somebody is watching you or something it was called. Anyway, it kind of reminds me a little bit of that. But this girl, of course, she's totally obsessed with anything to do with true crime, okay? Her name's Ellery. She's one of the twins. So you know, like, immediately, I'm like, oh my God, she's obsessed with true crime. This is like me. So, I already know. You guys don't need to leave the comments about I've never waited so long for a Diet Coke in my life. I know it just becomes like, it's... McDonald's wants to say they are fast food, and I think that I have video proof in more than one video, this one and definitely the last one, that they are the slowest fast food in the entire world. And let me just tell you what else kills me about it. And I know that she just said sorry for your wait, but they rarely ever, like this one is actually, they're pretty nice here, but they rarely, if ever, even acknowledge that you waited, which is so crazy to me. Like Starbucks, if you wait 3 or 4 cars back, like they give you your coffee for free, right? Like it just is crazy to me that McDonald's doesn't even acknowledge. I mean, they're considered fast food. Like, listen to me go off on my rant. They're considered fast food, and they like don't even acknowledge the fact that you just waited 10 minutes for a Diet Coke. You know?
Sorry about that wait.
That's okay. I appreciate you acknowledging it. Thank you, dear. Have a good one. Like I said, she's a little bit nicer at this one. But the one that I usually go to, they don't even acknowledge it. They don't even say anything. I just ate my words, didn't I? Some places you go to, they just like throw your food at you. Fast food actually sounds really good right now. I don't know why, but so anyway, now that I'm done with my McDonald's rant, that was nice of her to acknowledge that. Okay, so she can keep a secret. It's about these twins, and they move to, well, let me finish the story first about this girl, because I can just get that done with. So she and I were in junior high together, and I think, like, I thought she was I was not carrying any Louis Vuitton purse or wearing no Rolex, okay? My father would have never. But anyway, but I thought she was very cool. And we'd always kind of, like, watch each other from afar. Like, we, like, noticed each other. Like, not in any kind of crush kind of way, but just kind of, like, appreciating each other's style. I always had kind of different style, always, like, when I was growing up. And I think it was kind of that. Kind of, like, I wondered who she was, and she wondered who I was, but, like, my lack of any kind of clique and her clique didn't, like, match up at all or anything like that. I don't know, I could be completely wrong. But, I just was kind of enamored with her. I always thought she was kind of cool, you know? And, she's kind of bitchy, too, which is, I think, was kind of, I don't know, she just was like a character in our school. She, like, did not fit. It was, like, crazy. Well, like, the end of our 9th grade year, she and this other girl, like, the other girl was going to a private school here, which that was kind of unheard of at, like, my public junior high, like, back then. Like, today, excuse me, I'm trying to fix this. I was gonna say fix this jelly bean, fix this beanbag. Today, like, I feel like you hear of a lot of kids that go, like, through 8th grade and then 9th grade forward, they go to a private school, right? Like, here in Indianapolis. I've had a lot of friends of mine, their kids did that. Like, they'll go to private schools, or public schools, private and public schools up till 8th grade, and then they go to private high schools. But you don't hear, like, that wasn't heard of back in the day, that, like, you would go to a public school, you know, all through junior high and then go over to a private school. But this girl did, and she was, and they were making that pretty, like everybody knew that she was doing that. And so it was kind of like her saying goodbye to everybody at this last week. Well, this girl had become her best friend, and these two girls were very, like, just unique and different, but also very popular, partier types. And the other girl was going to a boarding school. And, that was definitely unheard of. So anyway, that last week I remember, like, one day they dressed up, like, in these dresses, and they were, like, every day they dressed up some different kind of way, just the two of them. I just thought they were the coolest thing, you know? They were, like, expressing who they were on the outside in a way that I wish that I could have. And, it was funny, somebody left a comment on my video, my vlog, when I was talking, it was my vlog where I was talking about, like, being genderqueer and not really understanding what that word meant for a long time, and I still don't know that I necessarily understand it, but that, like, I kind of relate to that a lot, of, like, I have so many different interests that, like, you know, I have a lot of interests of mine that are very, very masculine, but then I have interests of mine that are very feminine. And I always have, like, I always have, and I think that a lot of things I've held back from because they aren't boy things, quote unquote, is what I was taught, you know? I looked up and it was, like, completely out of focus. I don't know what is going on with this, you guys. Okay. But I was talking about, like, boy things versus girl things. I mean, I come from that generation, right? And I think that I would have gone into things that really were more, today, what we call gender ambiguous. But, like, is it really? Like, you know, we say that, right? Like, we watch it on YouTube, and we know enough not to say things like, boys don't wear makeup. Okay, we know not to say that. But, like, are you telling me that if all of a sudden, like, I started doing makeup, you know, like, on a daily basis, and started, like, wearing makeup on a daily basis, that if I went into the gas station or the McDonald's, that people wouldn't look at me weird? Let's just be for real. We don't live in that world yet. At least in Indianapolis, we don't. Now, I will tell you that today, in 2019 that I would do whatever I wanted to do. Like, I do feel pretty confident in that. And, you know, my parents back in the day, they would have been really, really supportive of me to be whoever I wanted to be. I mean, I think, honestly, if I wanted to go to, like, a hair school, or we called it beauty school back in the day, I think my dad would have paid for it just as much as, you know, he helped me with college. I really do. I know he would have. I don't even question that, you know? So, I don't know. It's been, like, I think my own inner, like, fear. But it was interesting because this guy commented on my video. I'm sorry that I don't remember who you are, but I really agreed with the comment. And he said, you know, I've often wondered to myself if there was no gender assignment, basically, to certain, like, if there was no gender assigned, then would these just be interests that we had? And they wouldn't be, you know, we wouldn't look at them as interests that guys have or interests that girls have. And I think that's really what I'm saying. It's like, you know, would more guys carry purses? Like, if that wasn't looked at as a feminine thing, you know? It's like, I don't know about you, but I still have friends of mine that I'm telling you, when they have babies, like, they will not let certain colors, like yellow, be in the infant's room if it's a boy. And I'm like, yellow? And they're like, that's a girl color. And I'm like, get over it. Like, and I'll say it to their face. I'll be like, that is absolutely ridiculous, okay, that you feel that way. And they're like, well, yellow's a girl color. Psh. You know, it's like stupid. It's so stupid, right? And I think, like, I kind of internally struggle with that a little bit. It's like, I want to be exactly who my soul dreams to be, but I feel so conflicted because at the same time, the times that I was the most of who I am, like, I'm talking about not now, but, like, growing up, I was horribly bullied for it, you know? I think that's why, like, when working with my counselor, and he was, like, the first person that ever said this, the one that, you know, like, that we just stopped seeing here 2 months ago, you know, he said, I really think that you suffered some PTSD as a result of your being bullied, because he knew, like, it still lingers, you know, like, and I still have effects of it, and I agree with that. And so, I don't know, it's hard, you know, it's like, but this girl, she lived out loud, and, she just was really colorful and different, and so was her friend, but she was more so. So anyway, just to make the story even weirder, I don't know that, like, other than outside of tennis, like, once or twice in 7th grade, we ever talked in 3 years. 7th, 8th, and 9th. I don't know that we ever talked, like, outside of that. Maybe, like, one day on the school bus when because her friend lived in my neighborhood, kind of. So I think one day on the way home, they talked to me, but, like, kind of in, like, just a passing kind of way. So her friend goes to this private school here in Indianapolis, and she goes to boarding school. And the following year, we're in 10th grade, right? And I'm at school lunch one day, and she comes visiting. She's visiting town, and she has some friend with her, and she looks so different. She had, like, real long hair, and she was dressed kind of hippie-ish, and, like, but, like, very serious. And I was like, okay, this girl has totally changed. She now is like, this must be, like, the look of, like, going to boarding school or whatever. And then that was our 10th grade year. And then, like, 2 or 3 years later, Edward Scissorhands comes out, and she somehow became friends with Winona Ryder. I don't know how. And she's, like, in Edward Scissorhands and has, like, speaking roles and stuff. She's, like, if you see Edward Scissorhands, the movie, she's the one that is, like, Winona Ryder's best friend, and she's, like, with Anthony Michael Hall in, like, the van, and they're, like, trying to kidnap him, and she's, like, at the dinner table, and she's, like, says something about she can't eat food that's touched by hands or something like that. But she's in it, like, several times. She changed her name. Her name's not what it was when I was growing up, because somebody said to me, like, I saw her, so she had a good friend. Okay, so a good friend of hers is a good friend of my cousin Caroline's. And so I saw her, when did I see her? I think it was, I see her every once in a while, like Caroline has little get-togethers, and I'll see her. This was a girl that I went to actually, like, kindergarten all the way through with, and we lived literally 2 streets away from each other. It's so crazy, and now she's, like, real good friends with my cousin Caroline. But anyway, she was real good friends with this girl, and I said to her, have you seen so-and-so? And she goes, she changed her name. Did you not know that? And I go, no, I didn't know that. And she told me what she changed her name to. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, it's not much of a stretch. It's not much different. And I was like, she's still real different and whatever. And she's like, yeah, I mean, that was always kind of just like an act of kind of like, I go, oh, it wasn't like who she was? And she goes, well, I mean, it was who she was. But she was like, she was always different. You know, she was always just, and I was like, no, I don't know. Because like, all I know is what I see. And I thought that was interesting, you know, that people's perceptions of like, what we just see, you know what I mean? Like, but anyway, and then she was in Reality Bites too, with Winona Ryder. I think they like met at boarding school maybe, or I can't remember the story. Somebody told me what the story was, and then I totally lost fascination. I don't know why, because my real life took over, and I was drinking and partying all the time, and I wasn't worried about some girl that I wondered who she was in 8th grade, because that's what happens in the real world. And then I kind of stopped thinking about her until it would have been before that I saw my cousin's friend, because it was before I was doing YouTube, and I can see us sitting there talking. I don't know when it was. Maybe it was like just a Halloween party or something. But anyway. Isn't it interesting what we think of people when they're younger than what we think of them when they're older? You know, like, they become like when they're younger, they almost kind of like, it's like we invent these stories in our head of people. I think you do that as an adult too. You know, I think as an adult, when you don't really know somebody, you kind of invent this idea of what they really look like. You know, it's funny because sometimes like I'll read comments from people, and you know, like from my vlog or from this, and it's like, you know, I have a lot of people that don't watch an hour of me every night, that they just watch like 15 minutes of me. And even though I put a lot of myself out there on video, you know, every single day, like, and this is probably the, you know, like who you would get if you were sitting right next to me. It's like, in all honesty, you guys are only seeing like an hour of me a day, like, which is still a lot for a lot of YouTubers out there. But it's like, well, I don't know. Like, I feel like a lot of people really do know who I am, though. You see me with Tanya. You see me with Alex. You see me with my in-laws. You see me with, you know, Caroline. You've seen me drive around. I've talked about everything. I've cried about everything. I've laughed about things. I mean, I feel like if you've watched this channel pretty consistently, then you really do know who I am as a person. I really do believe that, you know? So... kind of weird. I never thought of it that way, you know, where a lot of YouTubers say like you only see like 10 minutes of me 3 times a week. People don't really know me like they think they do. If you watch this channel, you kind of know me. Like, you really do. I never thought of it that way. I did have this weird thought today, though. I don't know why. I'm not gonna do it, so you don't need to go frantic in the comment section. For those of you that enjoy watching my vlog, I appreciate it. But I was thinking, like, what it would be so weird to just, oh, somebody was so nice and they said, you work so hard for us, or something like that. And I really appreciate that. You know, like, I don't do things today that I don't want to do, like, in my life. I just don't. Like, you know, on Saturday, like with this thing going that I'm supposed to go to with Alex, like I say, oh, I'll just go for a little while and I'll stop in. The thing is that the reason I don't want to go on Saturday has nothing to do with the fact that I don't like his friends, or I don't want to go, or anything like that stuff. All that stuff is totally not true. Like, I do want to go, right? But it's the workup that it takes me as somebody that is socially awkward and has, like, some issues. It is all the workup that it takes me to get me to walk through the door. Once I'm standing there and I have a Diet Coke and I'm hanging out with his friends and we're talking, I'm completely fine. But it's that workup of getting there that is, like, so hard for me that I really, really struggle with, you know? But once I get there, I'll be completely fine, and I know that, and then I'll have a great time, and then it'll be Sunday, and I'm like that little girl on My So-Called Life, of which there was a great reference to. That's what I was talking about the other day when I was talking about What If It's Us, or I was maybe talking about it on my Reading Rush vlog, but he makes a reference, the dad makes a reference to his son in the book, and he was like, I know you're having a bad day, but I'm not down with all this my so-called life angst. And the main character looks at his dad and goes, I don't even understand that reference. That's where you know that, like, a lot of these books are, like, yes, they're written for that age group, but they're also written for older people, too. Because it was... Oh, and then he said something else. He didn't say... He said something other than my so-called life. He said... I can't remember what he said, but it was so funny. He listed another show that was like that. But, anyway, I totally forgot what I was just saying. I keep on, like, losing my thought tonight. Shoot. Dang it. Anyway, yeah, somebody put in the comment section, they said I really appreciate how hard you work for us and stuff like that. Like, I do it because I love it, you know? I don't do, oh, this is what I was talking about Saturday night. Like, I don't do things tonight, or today, that I don't want to do, right? And as much as I believe that, like, in suiting up and showing up, too, it's like I have to be real with myself. Like, I do want to be part of stuff. I do want to be invited. I do want to go and do those things, right? But it's the work up to get me there. Like, I'm still just not there 100% yet. I wish I was. I really wish I was, you know, but I'm just not. And I'll go, and this is what'll happen. Oh, this is what I was saying. I'll go, and I'll, you know, have a great time. And then on Sunday, I'll be like Claire Danes' little sister in my so-called life, wishing that we could do it all over again. Like, oh, we don't do that enough. And then I'll be like, well, I mean, we've done this, you know, 4 times in the last 4 years, and you didn't want to come. You know what I mean? Like, and then I find that I'm missing out on stuff because I'm fearful or I'm scared. I don't think people really have any idea what social fear and social anxiety looks like. I mean, it is overwhelming to me sometimes. Look, I just don't think anybody really gets it unless you experience it yourself. You know, it's pretty overwhelming. I mean, I can work through it, but it's hard. Alex is so good for me because he challenges me on it, and he'll say, like, I want you to go on Saturday, right? So I do go. But back in the day, I probably just wouldn't have gone. Like, if I was single right now, I just wouldn't go. A black cat, seriously, just went in front of my car. I'm not even lying. It stopped right in front of me and turned and looked at my... That's supposed to be good luck, though, I heard. Are you guys superstitious? I just think it's kind of a superstitious world, don't you think? But I did hear that a black cat actually means good luck, not bad luck, is what somebody told me not too long ago. Anyway, okay, so 2 can keep a secret. I'm gonna actually pull in here. I want to find out what it really does mean to have a black cat walk in front of you. If it is bad luck or good luck. This Steak and Shake is absolutely dead. I cannot believe it. I think the kids might be back in school already. Black cat. Black cat walks in front of you. Bad omen. Is a black cat crossing your path good luck or bad luck? In Britain and in Ireland, it is lucky to see a black cat, as it is in Germany, as long as it crosses your path from left to right. Left to right. Now mine went from right to left. However, an omen of death. I don't know if I believe it. I'm gonna believe that it's good luck. I don't like that at all. Okay, so 2 can keep a secret. Now I'm kind of freaked out because I have to tell you that. I mean, I not that I didn't already know what a black cat meant because I'm not that stupid. But sometimes when I say that, people are like, no, it means good luck. But I'm like, I'm kind of freaked out because in all honesty, I am kind of mildly superstitious. So anyway, or maybe it's just a black cat that's lost and needs to go home. I don't know. So Two Can Keep a Secret is about these two twins and their mom. She has to go into treatment, into rehab. And so, because she's court ordered, and they have to go, they're court ordered to go live with their grandma, who, their Nana or Granny or whatever they call her, Nana, I think. Who, she's like real stern, and she used to be a teacher, and they haven't seen her in 10 years. And so, Echo Ridge, they live in Echo Ridge, Vermont. And so they have to go stay with her. Well, it's of course coming from California, right outside LA, to going to Echo Ridge, Vermont. And it's just real different, and it's real cliquey. And it's very much like, I mean, even the kid, like this one kid, the brother is making fun of these three girls that they meet. He says something in the book like, I bet on Wednesdays they wear pink, or something like that, you know, like the Mean Girls analogy. But it's about, so their mother was a twin, and her twin went missing around like homecoming, when she would have been like 17, 18, and their mom was the homecoming queen. And so they come back to Echo Ridge, and like 2 years before, or 5 years before or something, there was this amusement park in town, and it was called Murderland, and now it's called Fright Fest. I mean, the fact that a town even had an amusement park called Murderland kind of cracks me up. But so anyway, and apparently this homecoming queen was killed there. Well, now it's homecoming time again, and there's 3 homecoming candidates, and the killer is back, and he's like leaving these like spray painted notes, and like homecoming queens and nooses hanging from things and whatever. Okay, it has very strong Pretty Little Liars vibes to it, I have to say. It just is good. Like, I mean, this is what I'm surprised of, is that like the reviews that it's getting are getting really, really panned, and people are saying that it's really predictable, and that it's just, you know, not realistic, and everybody knew exactly what was gonna, I don't know what's gonna happen. I have to say, like, watching it, like, I'm pretty clueless. Like, I don't know. I have some ideas of some things, of people that they might be related to, and some weird stuff like that. I have a couple ideas of, but it's like everybody is so speculative, and it's a small town, and the only person I really believe has nothing to do with it is the grandma. So it's like, you don't know. Plus there's like several different mysteries. There's the mystery of her mother and her sister, and there's the mystery of the murders, and there's the mystery of how they know so-and-so, and, you know, why her mother won't talk about so-and-so. And so, because the mom calls from treatment a lot. And it's really interesting, and I think it's really well done. And I think Karen McManus is a fantastic author. I'm not really sure why people don't really like her as a young adult author, and they think that her work is predictable. I don't know what mysteries they're reading, but I read a lot of mysteries and thrillers, adult mysteries and thrillers, and I don't think her thrillers are that predictable. I don't. In fact, I think if you want a really easy thriller, you know, that feels like a Lifetime kind of mystery that is really good, her books are great. Like, I think the character development is fantastic. I love the characters. I think one of her strongest suits is the character development, so I'm impressed with her. I really like it. I think the covers are very cool too of the books. So yeah, that's the second one that audiobook that I'm listening to, and I wanted to sit outside and read today. I just didn't feel very good, so I didn't. So that's my goal for the next 3 days. And then Sunday, we have the live stream for Zodiac. I wanted to watch that movie. Well, I'll watch it sometime this weekend. It's on Netflix. I have to remember to do that. So anyway, I'm almost at the end of this. I have like 3 more minutes on here, so I'm going to get off here because I want to listen to my audiobook. And I'm trying to listen to 2 hours a day of it so I can finish it by Sunday. And I actually have like a half an hour left today. So I'm going to get off here now. I hope you guys are having an amazing, oh my God, it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. I hope you guys are having an amazing Friday unless you have other plans. But don't have other plans. Enjoy your day. Make the most of it. Do something fun this weekend. And if you're participating in Reading Rush, I hope that you're enjoying the books that you're reading and that you're doing well with all of that. Do something fun today. Do something different. Have a really great weekend. And yeah. And if nobody else told you this today, I love you. Look at yourself in the mirror every single day and tell yourself, I love you. And really believe it. Pass it on to somebody else. I think that's the most important part, is to make sure that other people know how much they matter to us. And thank you for watching my vlog. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.